Chapter 809. Let's have the conversation we couldn't have back then, shall we? A very honest conversation. I don't understand what you mean. If you don't understand, let me enlighten you. I now clearly know what your abilities are and how they have affected me. ... Why did you truly not anticipate such a day would come? Diamond was utterly baffled by what Nahan was saying. But so were the others. Was there really anyone there who fully grasped the conflict between Nahan and Sage? There is nothing more to discuss with you. Your actions now are ruining us all. Trying to escape even from here? Open your eyes, everyone. It is Nahan who betrayed the Star of Nagran. Don't be fooled by false words. Trust this person. The conversation ended before it even began. As the sage shouted loudly, the people flinched. Some, regaining their senses, rushed towards them, but not everyone did. Come to your senses. Remember the truth I showed you. Diamond noticed, not without difficulty, that those who remained defiant to the very end were mostly those who had followed Nahan for a long time. They surrounded Nahan, looking at the sage with eyes full of betrayal. We believed in you, sage. We believed you went to protect us all, but you did not return until the village came to the state. Bring back Sarah and the others who left under your command. Return them. Believe you? Based on what? I really don't know anymore. Answer us. A great commotion ensued. People divided into two groups over the sage and Nahan fought and eventually started to unleash their powers. Diamond struggled desperately to protect the sage but was overwhelmed. Where had the gentle people who believed and followed the sage gone, replaced by those filled with chaos and rage, recklessly reaching out to grab hold? It was like hell on earth. The sage continued to shout hoarsely to bring them to their senses, but Nahan merely watched and laughed. It was a smile as if to say, try as much as you can. Honestly, that smile was twice as terrifying as his dreadful illusion ability. At the end of the turmoil, when the sage told people to stop and back off, he only replied with one sentence. If that's what you want, then speak the truth and keep your promise for the sake of the Star of Nagran. I kind of root for Nahan. Sage is the worst of worst. Nahan was just a kind guy who got betrayed and had so many scars. And this guy just outright manipulated him and brainwashed him and used him for this purpose and made him do all these cruel actions. I'm not condoning his cruel actions, but I think he had a purpose. And if we think about not having a cavalry and all these corrupt nobles and read the story from Nahan's perspective, probably it would have been a story of saving these awakeners who were commoners and creating the Star of Nagran, and midway through a biggest twist would be he was being manipulated and they will have to fight Sage against and win probably. But yeah, I don't think I will ever be rooting for Sage. I want him to go down right now. In a moment of dire crisis with no escape, Diamond had an idea. He could only copy and use one ability at a time. To use an ability he had copied before, he had to find its original owner and go through the process of recopying it, which was impossible in such chaos. But that was only for powers copied in the usual way. There was one time in Diamond's life when he had properly obtained permission from the original owner of an ability and went through all the preliminary steps to perfectly replicate every aspect of that power. Considering that most awakeners disliked having their abilities copied, this was an astonishing feat. The power to control monsters. It was an ability he copied before going to the capital at the sage's suggestion. Oh, so he cannot use multiple powers at the same time, but he still have the powers copied in him, so he can just bring forth the powers. What a terrifying skill. The original owner of that power was a boy who had not long arrived from the east, who, upon hearing the sage's earnest request, changed his reluctant mind and allowed Daemon to perfectly replicate his power. At that moment, Daemon realized the extent of his greatness when he perfectly copied another's ability. Unlike before, when he could only use a degraded version of others' powers, this time he was able to use the power at almost the same level as the original owner. It was thanks to this that he was able to summon a monster right in the middle of the imperial palace. Although the boy, the original owner of the ability, seemed drained of life as Daemon copied his power, that was none of Daemon's concern. Okay, I don't think I will like Daemon. He seems as similar to Sage as anyone could be. Yes, with that power, it might be possible to bring it forth again. I copied it perfectly. If only I can use it now. In a life or death situation, Daemon miraculously caused the ground to rumble and explode, revealing a giant centipede-like monster. It was a method of escape taught to him by the boy, the original owner of the ability. The appearance of the monster elicited screams from the people. Their village, built through their collective strength, was crumbling. A burning smell pierced through the thick smoke. Taking advantage of the chaos, Daemon fled with the sage, severely injuring his arm from a power someone had unleashed, yet he hardly felt the pain. Just before leaving, Daemon briefly glanced back amidst the chaos. There stood Nahan, his figure grotesquely twisted. With his broken limbs and face exposed, he smiled brightly amidst the flames, saying something unbelievable. Strangely, his lip movements formed words that echoed clearly in Daemon's mind. Farewell, and let's meet again soon, brother. Escaping was a miracle, but the aftermath was catastrophic. First, Daemon's injured arm worsened and did not heal. He had been struck by a power mixed with fire and poison, but worse was when he first saw his reflection in the water upon arriving in Charlotte. Is that person me? That's me? Daemon had aged. The reflection in the water showed him having aged about 20 years, his state wrinkled and frail. To anyone looking, he was unrecognizable from the young man he once was. At least his hair hasn't thinned, making him look a bit younger than the sage. But what did that matter? No matter how much he felt his pace, he could not reverse the transformation. Had he known that using his power to its limits would leave such after effects, he would have never used it. Daemon was in deep despair. But like deepening pain, his despair was not the end. Daemon stayed at the closed door beyond the empty warehouse. He could have endured these terrible pains if he believed they were sacrifices made to protect the sage. But where was the sage he had risked so much to save? ... Yes, the sage had hardly been around since they arrived in Charlotte. The reasons were varied. At first, he went out to bring a doctor. Next, he said he was meeting people who could help them. And then, what did he say next time? Daemon couldn't remember. Each time the sage returned, he begged him to stay and treat him, but the sage did not comply. The reasons were varied then too. Nahan was tracking them, he said. It was difficult to find allies. Sarah and others might be captured by the cavalry. The cavalry was spread throughout the city. Then gradually, even such responses ceased to come. Each time the sage returned from outside, he grew increasingly somber. His appearance became dirtier day by day, his eyes bloodshot. Clearly, things were not going as planned. Well, I am not sad about that. Still, when he last returned the day before yesterday, he didn't look so bad. Daemon groped through his foggy mind to recall what the sage had said then. There is going to be a funeral for the second son of the Honi family. A noble from the Apeto family who had helped us before is attending. I plan to meet him there, although I haven't met this person face to face, the reputation of Duke Diarca and the Crown Prince will surely be of help. And me? Please let me come with you. It's dangerous to be alone. You know that I'm the only one who can truly help you, Sage. Daemon pleaded pitifully. The sage said nothing, then gave a sorrowful smile. Daemon, you are in a lot of pain right now. Rest up. When this person returns from there, I will definitely bring a doctor along with an ally. That was the last thing he said before leaving, and the sage had not yet returned. Daemon kept crying. It was unbearable for any human to grasp his festering arm in a place that wasn't even a proper shelter and repeatedly faint and wake up several times a day. I don't think you know, but Nahan suffered much worse, and he still fought, and it's just been a couple of days for you, Daemon, and Nahan had suffered for so many months. The fear that he might really die from this made his head feel like it would turn white. Save me, please. When are you coming back, Sage? I protected you. I'm the only truly useful, real star of Nagran. Take me with you. Me too. Where could the sage be wandering now? Would he ever return here? With each cry of pain from his arm, Daemon's head throbbed as if it would split, and doubt slowly crept in. The fear intensifying in Daemon's heart gradually extinguished his blind faith in the sage, as well as the pride he felt in having finally succeeded where other awakeners had gradually faded. Taking their place and growing in size were equally dark and sinister emotions. The sound of rats squeaking echoed in the darkness. Those creatures gnawed at his hands and feet whenever Daemon lost consciousness. Was there anything more terrifying than the thought of these beasts ready to devour him upon his death? Daemon writhed and groaned, trying to shake off the rats. No, I don't want this. I don't want to die like this. It was then. The door opened, letting in a thin light. I bet that's cavalry,